Hey, Rod here. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to talk about my solo backcountry cooking system that I use when I go hiking, camping, boating for an overnighter. Now I'll be in Canada in a couple of weeks to do some outdoor adventure, and before I go I'll be doing a little bit of shopping. So the stuff I'm about to show you could change slightly. It's always a process of evolution. What I have right now works for me. It may not be the lightest, but I'm happy with it, but there's always room for improvement. So without further ado, here we go. Okay, I'll start with my knife. First I must apologize for the background noise. It's over 40 degrees right now and we live in a land of air conditioning. So here I have a buck knife. It weighs 233 grams or 8 ounces. It's got a chip in it. I got it from Batoning Wood. I'm not particularly happy about this. I paid $100 for it and it's chipped. I'll be buying a new one when I go back to Canada. Next I have a mini grill for barbecuing. Okay, it's pretty small. It's made of titanium. It's only big enough to get a steak, for instance, or a couple pieces of chicken or a big piece of salmon. Now I understand where I'll be going in Algonquin Park in Canada, most of the sites have grills already, but in case they don't, or if I go to places outside of Algonquin Park, I'll always have this with me. Okay, next is my plate, pot and pan kit. Normally this will be wrapped in a bag in my pack sack. So I have my plate, titanium, Snow Peak. Okay, I have my pan, which I can also use, for instance, as a plate or for cooking oatmeal or something like that. And I have a compact little bowl for mixing up batter and things like that when I'm cooking fish. And then I've got the kit bag that goes along with it. Let's see what's inside. Well, first here in this old film case I have cotton wool with Vaseline. It's a really good emergency fire starter. I've got a scoop for measuring out things like for coffee and for oatmeal. I've got a lighter, good old Bic. Bic are the best lighters for if you're going to get anything for the outdoors. I have a spork. I have a small fork. I have a small set of tongs. I've got a ferro rod, a ferroceram rod for starting fires. Makes sparks. That's why when you get yourself a knife, you want to have a knife with a 90-degree edge on it. That's for this specific reason, for sparking a ferro rod. And last, I have a sharpening stone for sharpening my knife, maybe for sharpening fishing lures, and if I had an axe or a hatchet. It's a little hard to get in sometimes, the edges get caught. These are a little bit small. I have a bit of trouble picking up a big steak, so I may be replacing those. And the only other thing I can maybe think of that I need is a small spatula. See, look at this, this just folds right down. That's go there, this can go there. Okay, next I have my pot, cup, and stove set up. Now this weighs 578 grams or 20 ounces. So the pot is a solo stove pot. It's got handles on it, so it's also really a big cup. And it holds 30 ounces. And I've got my coffee filter, mini coffee filter. This is really good. Now inside the pot I have a cup. And inside the cup I store my hot lips. This is for stopping you from burning your lips. These titanium tops can get really hot, so that stops it from burning. And here I've got a small rag, a scouring pad for cleaning things. And here is my MSR Pocket Rocket 2, my mini stove. Inside it I have another lighter. I generally carry at least 3 Bic lighters when I'm out. And this is the stove. Everything folds out. And I have my fuel. Now I would use the stove usually for things like breakfast and when I have to heat water really quickly. Normally in the evenings I'd have a fire. I'd fill this with water, for instance, and put it directly in the coals, or I would cook on the fire with my grill. So this is more of a backup system. So it'll boil a pot full of water in 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, yeah. Want to boil less water, you can always use the cup, or if you want to reheat a coffee, for instance. Or if you want to fry up a fish, cook some oatmeal. Now this is a little bit tippy when there's nothing in it, but once you have liquid or something, it stays on pretty well. In total, the whole system weighs 1.5 kilograms. Or 51 ounces, which is 3 pounds, 3 ounces. So let's just put everything away. Everything folds up nicely. Take the hot lips off, put it in my cup, put the handles in. Now this bag wasn't made for this cup, it was made for a solo stove, so it's a little on the big side, which isn't a problem. Now my pot, fold up the handles, put the cup and stove inside, put my small coffee filter in. Now this is always a little bit difficult. I always turn this upside down to get the bag back on. This bag is so tight. Even though it's made for this pot, it can be very difficult to get on. Turning it upside down seems to make it a little bit easier. Really what I need is a slightly bigger bag. Handle comes off, this is really handy. Okay, put the small bowl in, the handle, put the kit bag, there you go. I don't need that. So that's the whole kit and caboodle. Thanks for joining me.